Hi there, my name is Ron Parrish and I'm in Bali, Indonesia. And I'm sitting in a place that's typical of the architecture of this island. It's predominantly Hindu, although there are a lot of Muslims. You may hear the sound of a mosque in the background of this recording. Anyway, it's a fascinating place for lots of cultures, lots of religions. But today I'd like to talk to you about a way that we can connect with the living God, a way that we can experience His presence, a way that we can engage Him, not just passively meditating on Him, not just maybe reading a verse out of the Bible, but actually praying prayers in a way that honor Him. And I have a book that I've just come out with. It's called Building Your Spiritual Core, 101 Creative Ways to Connect with God. And one of the ways is through prayers of adoration, prayers that express our love for God. And for each of us, that's an infinite list, but actually we can narrow it down to ways that we've experienced God. And here's what I mean by that. There are ways that I've known God over these years, over the 40 years that I've been following Jesus, ways that I've experienced His love in a very personal way. And so when I put together what has God meant to me, if I make a list of who is God in my life, things like counselor, friend, truth speaker. He speaks truth to me when I'm hearing lies or believing lies. He's the truth speaker. He's a God who satisfies me deeply. Every time I encounter Him, every time I pray, every time I wake up in the morning, which is every day, and turn my heart to Him, I find such satisfaction in Him. It's very interesting. I'm sitting right here on these steps between two Balinese idols that represent some of their gods and goddesses. And this island is fraught with spiritual activity, but I have found God to be my protector. I have found God to be my warrior. He is a warrior king. He's the Lord of hosts, the Lord of heaven's armies. And I know Him to be that way with me. So this exercise is really simple. I want you to take a few minutes and with pen in hand or with your tablet or with your computer, your laptop, begin to think of how God has revealed Himself to you. He may have revealed Himself to you as a healer, as a God who provides, as a God who does miracles. In your experience with God, the God who forgives you, the God who takes away your shame. I hope all those things are true for you. But make note of experiences that you've had with God in the past in which that's become very real to you. God wants to reveal Himself that way to you. Let me tell you one example for me. I relate to God as Father. Why? Because when I was 17, my earthly dad died of a heart attack. And in the midst of the grief of that and the sadness of all that, I went out into the country and I went out under the stars and I cried out to God in my grief and sadness. And I sensed God's empowering presence. And I sensed God saying, I will be a father to you. And that was more than 40 years ago. And it's so true. So how do we do it? Come up with a list. How have I experienced God? Who have I found Him to be? Make that list and then just acknowledge it. Speak it out to Him.